Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
Welcome to the Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Today, our guest is MacKenzie Morris. MacKenzie, how are you doing today?
Am doing so great. We're coming off the tail end of the Thunder win for the NBA Finals, so we are on cloud nine over here.
That's awesome. Awesome. That's great. So, MacKenzie, let us know where you live and what you do.
In Oklahoma City, I am a business strategist and coach, but outside of that, I'm a multi-passionate visionary entrepreneur myself. I have run and built multiple companies in a bunch of different niches, and essentially that's what I do with my clients. They come to me and either maybe they're a little bit lost or confused in their growth journey and they're doing everything they know to do and they're still not kind of seeing the progress, or maybe they're needing help with that accountability and staying the course for where their biggest vision is and needing help getting there. So I really help with the vision for their business and the strategies to help get them to their end goal.
Isn't it too difficult to understand someone else's vision?
It depends on how clear they are with the vision, right? And sometimes they will come to me and they're not clear at all. And then that's a big thing that we need to work through is figuring out where do you want to go? Because if you do not have an idea, the scale at which you want to grow your business, that changes a lot. Because if you're wanting to grow a smaller business where you maybe making $1,000 to $3,000 a month, that's completely different if you're trying to build a business to scale to exit, at billions. Completely different.
Yeah, that completely makes sense. But unfortunately, I have seen a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs who are not clear on their vision. They are not sure what they're going to make. They just jump into the development. Okay, let's do the development. A small product will be ready and we will be good to go into the market. And maybe we will just run the ads on Facebook, on Meta, on Google, and that's it. That's the whole business. But there are a lot of other things as well involved. This is an important thing for them to understand. So in this case, because I'm also in the industry from last many years, and I have seen many problems with many entrepreneurs, and especially about the vision, because they don't have the clear vision for next maybe even for few months. So what do you think? Do you think at your side there should be some sort of awareness campaign? There should be some sort of way from where you can educate these people? Because I think in this case, education will be one of the most important elements.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And it is really hard because you can't teach someone a vision, right? They have to have this vision for themselves. But one thing that I've experienced a lot in my life, and I think everyone will always experience no matter what level of business you're in, is the fact that you are a human and you are building a business. And as you grow and evolve and develop personally, you are going to develop and evolve and change. So you might have a vision, but as you grow, that's going to change. And then your alignment changes. And then you've got to do a pivot, right? So it depends on the type of business that you have. If you have like a brick and mortar, you're a lawn care company, the vision is to help people have better lawns and maybe feel more confident about their homes and lives and whatever, right? But if you're an entrepreneur and you are multi-passionate in your personal brand, your vision is probably a lot different. You're trying to go on TED Talks. You want to inspire people. You want to educate and empower, right? Well, the means in which you do that could change based on the things you find interesting now or what you're learning about and researching about. And this is actually something I'm literally writing a book on, is the fact that we're so multi-passionate and multi-dimensional, and business ownership can put you in a little bottle so often. And it's really hard to figure out how to navigate life and business in that bottle while staying true to who you are.
Yeah, that makes sense. Awesome. So in terms of marketing, because marketing is one of the essential part in any business. So how you are doing your marketing, how you are finding your customers. I'm not sure if you are using a mix and match of offline and online marketing, or you are relying on one of them.
Yeah, I do a variety of all of it. A lot of people and personal brands love to say, "Oh, I'm doing everything organically." Girl, it's okay. We can do other things. You don't have to do everything so organically all the time. You can let technology support you in the time. So I do a combination of organic marketing where I'm posting on my socials and just sharing ideas and sharing the things that I love. I go to a lot of concerts and stuff like that. And I love people to see that side of me because I'm kind of like the emo kid of the business space, at least in my world in Oklahoma. But I I also do a combination of email marketing, and I do ads, and I do a lot of funnels and stuff like that. And that is the tactical, that's the tangible things that goes on behind the scenes. And that portion of business is often gate kept from a majority of the business population, at least for those who are starting out, right? Because it's a little bit more advanced, and you can have massive funnels that lead to upsells and downsells and one-time only offers and have an incredible value ladder and all of those things. But you can also have a really simple landing page that'll get the opt-in, get the email subscribers, and then all you need is an email funnel. And most people don't even have that. And like, that is the bare minimum, y'all. So if you don't have any type of marketing, I would highly recommend that, because that is the way that you can show new clients who you are and build that trust and get them from being complete strangers
Yeah.
to being buying people, or people who at least have an understanding of who you are, what you do, and how you help them.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So, MacKenzie, who are your ideal customers? Like, how you define the ideal customer?
Yeah, so my ideal customer often changes, but whenever we boil it down, I work with personal brands and entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people who are working alone or who have a small team and who are looking to build larger businesses. They're already making money, they're already successful, but now they want to ramp it up. They want to double, 2, 3x their revenue. And a lot of these people that I work with, they tend to be in the beauty industry or in the creative space. So they're very like, they think in rainbows and sunshine and fireworks. And that's really fun for me, because that's how I think and dream and approach the world. So anyone that has a really big idea, maybe they want to do things a little bit differently, they like to take risks, they want to try new things, they're not afraid of failure, because we all know that failing is just getting you closer to the next thing that's going to get you there. Those are the people who I work with.
Yeah, awesome. That's great. So, in terms of your success, how you define your success, how do you measure your success? And obviously, I know there is one parameter which is the revenue. I understand, and this is the easiest way to measure your success. But like other than this, like the measurement of revenue, what are the other parameters?
Yeah, my parameters really goes back to my core values, and kind of tying it back to what I said in the beginning. As you evolve and change and grow, as long as your values are aligned with who you are, your brand should stay consistent. So it doesn't matter what you do or what you decide to pivot into offering, as long as it's aligned with the core values, it still should be a cohesive brand. So for me, my levels of success are, I measure, is my business allowing me to have fun? Yes. Is it allowing me to have freedom? Yeah. And is it allowing me to put my family first? Yeah. Okay. If so, then I'm doing something right. And then on the back end, am I creating a space where I can facilitate contribution and community and co-creation and collaboration? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. That's great. And then the last two things are, am I able to inspire and empower other people by leading by example by what I'm doing? If yes, then all of those things are pointing to the fact that I'm going in the right direction.
Got it. Makes sense. So, what are your short-term goals? Like maybe in next 6 to 6.
Yes, my current goals, like I said, I'm writing a book. I also have a business partner. She and I are starting another company as well, so that we can work more directly with other entrepreneurs in a group-ish setting with her, me, and then an investor on our team, and really to help them kind of build out their visions a little bit more. So that's really, really fun as we keep dreaming and building out this new part of business. Outside of that, I want to be on 50 podcasts this year. So that's another goal that I'm working towards. And being on here is helping me get closer to that as well. And then booking more speaking engagements. I am very visible online. I can show up on social, but people love being around me. And I love being around other people because of the energy and the exchange that happens in that. And that's really where I thrive. So I would love to do more speaking engagements. So that's another thing that I'm working towards as well.
Awesome. Well, I'm happy. I'm also helping you to reach your short-term goal with one podcast.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So can say in the world of entrepreneurship, like in every industry, I will not say like in any specific industry, but in every industry, everybody is facing challenges. And I'm sure you also must have faced many challenges. And nowadays, many businesses just burn out because they were not able to cope up with the challenges and they think maybe they are not capable of handling the challenges. But every successful entrepreneur, every successful company do face a lot of challenges. Can you please share one challenge with us, like whatever you think would be interesting to share, or maybe you can share the biggest challenge and how you were able to cope up with that challenge?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is a big part of my message. I share it by, like I say, I lead by example. So that means I also share the things that are not working. And I am very vocal about that. I've gotten on stages and talked about my failures. So I have a lot of them. And every person that is successful in doing anything worth a damn is going to have roadblocks. And one, it's accepting that that's okay. And then two, it's realizing that you aren't failing at all, because every failure is a lesson. Every failure is you finding out another way that didn't work. So one is the perspective shift. But one of the biggest failures that hurt so badly for me is when I had a wedding company and I built it. I scaled it internationally. I had my products in 47 retailers all around the world. I was custom designing my own apparel line and manufacturing it overseas and all of that stuff. I had 17 weeks of emails set up and I had everything correct on paper, where, everything was done. The sales should have come in. I had the massive email list. I had the funnels. Everything should have turned out. And on launch day, I sold nothing. Nothing. Statistically, that should not have happened. Like, with all of my experience and everything. And then that was the biggest lesson that I learned in alignment. And in the sense of, you can be successful on paper and you can be doing something that's generating money. But if you are operating out of alignment with what you're supposed to be doing, or another way to say that is, if you're hiding from your true potential and you're doing other things that are distracting you from what you're actually supposed to be doing because you're a little bit scared, the universe will tell you that you're not doing the right thing and it's gonna hurt. So what I was doing that is I was making money. It was great. The wedding business was popping off, right? It was a lot of work and the money was really hard to make. Like, it came in, right? And it was great, but oh my gosh, it was hard. It was not fun. I was resentful. And then that $0 launch was like the nail in the coffin, where I was like, okay, I shut down for 2 months. I was like, I'm not doing anything because my business was automated, right? I didn't need to. I could sit back and reassess, like, what in the heck happened. And at that point, while I was building my business, I had also been coaching other entrepreneurs for 2 years, just on the side, not as a coach or a formal strategist or anything like that. And I had found out that that was really where my heart was. So a few months later, I decided I was going to shut down the wedding company, shut it down. And that was one of the hardest things I've ever done. But literally, over the weekends that I shut it down, I got on 3 new retainer clients that completely replaced all the revenue. And by the last 2 months of the year, I had doubled my total yearly revenue just from making the decision to step into the alignment and to answer the call.
Awesome. In fact, pivot is also part of the business, I believe. Many people just think that pivot is a scary thing. I'm not saying like every time you have to, whenever you think, okay, this is not gonna work, pivot. Like, I'm not saying like do the pivot too much frequently. Pivot is still not a bad thing, not a scary thing for an entrepreneur. Whenever this is required, don't be shy to pivot. Obviously, for this thing, you do need some courage, but yeah, still part of the game. Awesome. So, MacKenzie, as you were saying, your business is already automated. So, how it is automated? What you did for the automation of the complete business?
Yeah. So when I was talking about that, was for my wedding company. So what I had multiple ways for people to purchase from me without me having to be directly there. So I had a website where people who are consumers could go and buy products from me, or they could book and reserve services so that my team can go and handle them, right? So then that was automated. I didn't have to go back and forth in the DMs, scheduling calls, scheduling drop-offs, and do all that, because it was all done. There's a whole system in place for that. And then on the other end, for my wholesalers, there was a whole entire other platform set up for them to automatically place their wholesale orders. I could handle all my shipping and all of that stuff all in one place as well, where they knew exactly when it was coming in. They could plan for their inventory, plan for the seasons. They could pre-order, all of that stuff. So it was really automated and hands-off, to where I would just be sitting back and, cool, another wholesaler reordered. Dope, right? And I could just be excited about it. Then the only thing I had to worry about was making sure the product came in and it had my branding on it, which meant giving it to my assistant and say, hey, go sit here for 3 hours and put my brand on these clothes, and then we'll send them out, right? So it was really easy, to where I offloaded everything that I would have had to do, and I either systemized it or delegated it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. In fact, delegation of responsibility is also another skill, how you can delegate your responsibilities. And to be an innovative or the visionary entrepreneur, I believe you need to keep your businesses automated so that you do have a lot of time to understand the things, to think about new ideas and sort of all these things. Awesome. So, MacKenzie, can you please give us the biggest piece of advice for our audience? Our viewers are mostly the entrepreneurs and the ones who are dreaming to be their own boss.
Yeah, I think my biggest piece of advice would be seriously do not quit. It is a waiting game. And as long as you can stay the course for a long period of time, a few years or whatever it is, and just stay true and have that trust and belief in yourself, you will get to where you want to go. Because usually in that time, all the people that really aren't serious about it, they're going to fall off. So then it literally becomes a numbers game at that point, and then you're going to pop off at the end. But in order to do that, you need to be inspired so that you can inspire other people. You need to be empowered in yourself so you can empower other people. And you need to have that self-trust and belief in yourself and who you are and what you want to contribute to the world, and know you're innately worthy of everything. You have to believe that to your core. And as long as you do that, you will get to where you want to go. But if you quit on yourself at the beginning, you're not going to get to the end.
Awesome. That's a beautiful advice for sure. Awesome. Kenzie, I like your energy. I like your patience, and like you're passionate about your business and all the things. So that's awesome. All right, Mackenzie, at the end, please let our viewers know how they can reach you if they want to. You can share your website, your social media handles, or whatever you want to.
Yeah, you can find me at MacKenzieMorris.co. You can find me on Instagram at It's Max, ITSMACKX. I'm also starting a new Instagram account at MacBaddy, MacBaddi with 4 E's. That is a completely different, unrelated podcast to anything business and everything. That is just all the fun things that me and my husband like to do, and go and see, and concerts and all that stuff. So more the personal side. But yeah, y'all can find me in those places. You can find me, of course, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, everywhere you can find people on social. I am there. And then I have like a fearless action blueprint I'll send over to you guys. If you want to give it to your viewers, they can have it for free.
Awesome. That's great. That's great. Thank you, Mackenzie. So nice of you. Thanks for joining us today. And it was a pleasure to meeting you today.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mackenzie. Have a good day. Bye-bye.